This October 20th, 2025 meeting of the Worcester Conservation Commission is now called to order. My name is Diane Frattoni, and I'll be chairing this meeting. As part of this meeting, we will be holding hearings under the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act and Regulations and the City of Worcester Wetlands Protection Ordinance and Regulations. The commissioners are volunteers who serve to enforce these laws and regulations to protect specific values identified as being important to Massachusetts and the City of Worcester. Commission decisions are based on these laws and regulations and are not arbitrary or based on personal likes or dislikes. It is important to the Commission that these hearings are held in a fair and equitable way for all parties involved. This requires that discussion takes place in a civil manner and that every individual in this meeting is treated respectfully. To facilitate this, the hearings take place in the order they are listed on the agenda, which is available by the door and online. First, the applicant will present an overview of the project to the Commission. Next, staff will provide comments on the proposed work. Then the Commission will then direct any questions it has to the applicant or staff. After the Commission is done questioning the applicant, the floor will be open to the public. Comments and questions must be directed to the chairperson, not to the applicant or their representative, and they must pertain to the regulations that the Commission oversees. For example, although you might have concerns over the traffic resulting from a particular project, the Conservation Commission does not regulate traffic, so traffic concerns will not be discussed in the meeting. Please note that while new points will be given ample time to present, repetitive comments will be cut short in the interest of having all parties be given the opportunity to speak. We ask that all applicants and members of the public please state their name and city or town of residence for the record. To manage remote participation during our hybrid meetings and prevent disruptions, all participants are automatically blocked from unmuting themselves, turning on their video, or sending chat messages. For remote participants who want to comment on an item on our agenda, we ask that you use the raise hand feature in Zoom during the discussion on that item. If you are joined by phone, you can raise your hand by pressing *9. Staff will then call on members of the public one at a time and give them permission to unmute themselves. If you are joined by phone, you will then be able to unmute yourself by pressing *6. Please introduce yourselves.
Eric Flint, Division of Planning and Regulatory Services.
Lindsay Nystrom, Commissioner.
Stuart Kirshner, Commissioner.
Thank you. First, are there any continuances or postponements?
Yes, we have 6 requests for postponement. We have item number 2, 31 Randolph Road, request to postpone the public hearing to November 3rd and extend the constructive grant deadline to November 25th. Item number 6, 17 Mill Street, request to postpone the public hearing to January 5th, 2026 and extend the constructive grant deadline to January 27th, 2026. The remaining ones are all requests to postpone the public hearing to November 3rd and extend the constructive grant deadline to November 25th. We have item number 7, 24 Lakeside Avenue, the Garland Street right-of-way and Lakeside Avenue right-of-way. Item number 9, 483 Sunderland Road. Item number 10, 284 Grove Street. And item number 11, 449 Southwest Cutoff.
Motion to postpone items 2, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11 as just described.
So moved.
Commissioner Kirshner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni? Aye. So the first item up tonight, new business, a request for determination of applicability, 75 Quinsigamon Avenue and the Quinsigamon Avenue right-of-way. Please.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Darville with Quinsigamon Gas and Market LLC, 313 Boston Post Road, West Marlboro.
Okay.
All right. We're requesting a determination because we are looking to remove approximately 65 feet of the center median on Quinsigamon Ave. And within that median, there is one utility manhole that we have to lower 6 inches to get back to the road surface. So that's what we're looking to do, to form a left turn only into the property. So that's why we're here tonight.
Okay. Staff comments?
Yeah, and this project is in front of the commission because it's located within the 100-year floodplain, so within bordering land subject to flooding. Staff doesn't have any concerns about this from a performance standard standpoint. Since the curbing is being removed, if anything, there should be an increase in flood storage available on the street. So no concerns from staff at this time.
Commissioners, questions or comments? Anybody here from the public on this item? Anybody online? Is there a motion?
Motion to issue a negative determination?
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Fatoni? Aye. All
Thank
set?
you very much. Have a great evening.
You too. Next item, old business, notice of intent, lots 9, 10, 11, and 12, Chester Street. Hello.
Madam Chair, I'm James Tatro from Expedited Engineering. I'm from actually Westboro. Next to me is Mr. Pham.
Mike Pham, the owner
He's from Auburn.
from Auburn. Thank you.
So we're back in front of you with this revised site plan after having made revisions pursuant to staff comments and to a meeting with Mr. Quinlivan of the DPW. It was one of his focuses, as well as in part the staff, that the previous design showing a head wall up behind Lot 11 was problematic in that I think there was especially worry about long-term maintenance and care of that installation. And so what we did instead, at the urging of Mr. Quinlivan and I think also Mr. Flint, was we had shown one infiltration trench behind Lot 12. We actually made that both, I think, wider, but 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep. And we propose them now also behind the other 3 lots as well. We also changed the grading on the side of Lot 9, actually into Lot 8, to be a riprap slope. And we propose now that we have area drains in front of, behind all of the proposed houses to pick up runoff from down the hill. We have proposed connections of the retaining walls to those area drains, and each one is to go out to the street for an individual connection to the existing drainage system in the street, so that there's no question of responsibility, and it is clearly on each party's own lot. We also added more of the existing survey information of the infrastructure in the street to the plan than had been shown before, and we have the plans now at DPW suggestions also stamped by the project surveyor, Dan Tibner of HS&T Group. I'll just leave it at that, and I'll try to answer any questions. I'll just note that, the wetland up above, we are only just at the back of Lot 12 at basically the 30-foot line away, with proposed work away from that wetland. That's the nearest approach now of any work.
Okay, thank you. Staff comments on this revision?
Yeah, we had discussed these revisions with the applicant's representative after they were submitted. We met with DPW to go over some of their concerns, and they met again subsequently to address the remaining concerns. I think at this point, this addresses most of the comments that we had at the outset, particularly concern about that head wall at the back of Lot 10. I guess just a quick question for the project engineer on this. Since the head wall is being removed, would the grading then be smoothed out at the back of that lot? I know there was kind of like a channelized shape that it had taken. but
Yes,
would you kind of-
I didn't mention that, but yeah, if you compared the plan now in the back of the Lot 10, 11 area to what was proposed before, you'll see now that there's much more forested cover being left alone than was the case before.
Yeah, at this point, we don't have any additional concerns that haven't been discussed at this point. We do have a draft order of conditions with just a few minor plan revisions, but that's it from staff.
Okay, questions or comments from commissioners? So I just have a question about the drains in the backyards.
Sure.
The lots will be pitched toward the drains? Is the intent to try and
Exactly.
divert
If
some of
you-
the water from?
On one of the detail sheets, we have an invert table, and if you check the invert proposed at each of those, for instance, I can do it real quick. In the back of Lot 9, The area drain there, proposed AD1, says rim grate 637.5. If you look, that's clearly lower than any other spot of the backyard. We're proposing actually most of it to be above 638. So it would be a local low point, 630 at 637.5, so to be, try and be sure that it picks up any runoff that gets down to that backyard.
And so just from the future homeowner's point of view, what is the maintenance effort on these drains, and what prevents them from filling up with silt and runoff and becoming,
Well, if it is functioning properly, the homeowner's backyard won't become wet and it'll be more usable. If it is blocked up and it puddles, then he or she or they are going to have a less functional backyard.
so you think it's just a matter of like self-interest that you would keep this structure?
Exactly.
clear?
It'll be, and it's, even though it's not a huge drain, it's just probably going to be a 1 foot square, either green or black top to it, so it's not so outrageously conspicuous in the backyard, but it'll be clearly at a low point, and if it was not functioning, they'd suddenly see a puddle.
And is this something that could be maintained by a homeowner, or would it require professional intervention if something became clogged?
I think it can be maintained by a homeowner unless somehow you have some unusual circumstance where the line further from that structure gets blocked somehow. And it'd be hard to imagine, enough getting through the grate, which is, small apertures, to block the 8-inch pipe. But if somehow that happened, or a vengeful kid or whatever, took a top off and, put a basketball in the line or something, you can call somebody and have them take care of it. But in the normal course of things, it's actually pretty hard to imagine the line being blocked. And the simple maintenance necessary really is likely to just be, if a puddle started because leaves had totally clogged it over, somebody simply swiping them away or kicking the leaves away.
Okay. All right. Other questions from? Is there anyone here from the public on this project? Anybody online at all? Okay. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. Proposed order of conditions?
So in addition to the standard conditions, we have 24 for wetland flagging, 25 for revised plans, that the drain pipe in the street be revised to DR 18 PVC per DPW standard, revise the planting list to include only native species in the 100-foot buffer zone, depict locations where riprap is proposed on the grading plan sheet. We'd also want an O&M plan for the area drains and infiltration trench. Condition number 37 for stormwater management system maintenance, 39 for certification of stormwater infrastructure, 46 for wood removal, 49 for dewatering, 50 for cement truck washing, 51 for equipment placement, 56 for spill prevention, as-built plan as part of the COC request process, 65 for sand and salt, 68 for wetland permitting with ongoing conditions, 37, 66, and 68.
Any questions or comments about the conditions?
No. Motion to issue the order of conditions as described?
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye.
I want to thank you and the staff for helping fine-tune this. Thank you.
Next item, number 4, 555 Plantation Street, notice of intent.
Good evening. Arthur Allen from Ecotech. With me is the maintenance supervisor for Notre Dame, Andrew Dubé. Again, this project is at 555 Plantation Street at the Notre Dame Healthcare, and it pertains to removal of hazardous trees along the riverfront area associated with Coal Mine Brook, as well as some debris dams within the brook. Since our first meeting, we had an on-site meeting with the chair and with Mr. Flint to review Mr. Flint's comments and to go over the project. I mentioned, too, that I noted the DEP file number wasn't listed on the agenda tonight, but there is a file number. Yeah, you're aware of that. And the comments from DEP just pertain to the, potential order of conditions. There were no technical comments about the project. I can just go briefly through the revisions we made since the site walk in the last meeting. I'll refer to Mr. Flint's comments. Number one was basically the scope of tree removal and whether any of those could be, the removals could be eliminated. And during the site walk, we agreed that 8 live trees and 2 standing dead trees would be removed from the inventory list. And we also, I think it was observed that I painted over the marks that we had on red marks with brown spray paint, so eliminated the marks on the trees, so it's obvious above on the upper part of the trunk and on the roots that those are the only trees that we'll be cutting. So I revised the tree inventory list and submitted that. Eric asked for an explanation of how the proposed work meets the performance standards for the riverfront area. And I'm considering this to be a redevelopment project because there is existing degraded area within the riverfront. And the redevelopment standards require a 2-to-1 ratio of restoring non-degraded areas to compensate for the proposed impact or degradation. And once we looked at the reduced trees, and also there was noted in comment 5, or 4, I'll just jump, that there were some additional improvements on the site that were not evidently permitted. There's a shuffleboard court and a putting green and a section of walkway within the riverfront. So I looked at all of that, and we also discussed on the site walk some existing lawn areas that we could do some native plantings in. And so we both decreased the number of removals, and we've kept the number of plantings to compensate for the tree removals the same. And we've also proposed 2-to-1 size planting areas to compensate basically to restore lawn with native plantings to compensate for those additional improvements. So now we're up to 100 plantings, native plantings in that in a 1,440 square feet in two portions of the lawn to compensate for those additional degraded areas. Mr. Flynn asked for a more detailed plan. I gave resubmitted my plan with additional opening that we saw along the stream that we could do some plantings. And again, the plantings will be at the direction of the wetland scientists based on openings created when the trees are removed. But we did note one area in particular on the far side of the stream where there's an existing opening. We could clearly put a number of the plantings in there, but that's shown on my sketch too. And then again, number 4 pertained to the additional degraded areas that we're proposing compensation for. And I calculated that those additional degraded areas to be about 724 square feet. So times 2, that's where I came up with 1,448 square feet of additional native plantings in the existing lawn areas to naturalize those areas. I believe that's everything that we discussed and in response to Mr. Flint's comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional staff comments?
No, not much to add. I think we had a productive site walk, and I think the revisions we've received have addressed all the comments that I had.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions or comments about the project? Thank you for addressing so much of our concerns and the opportunity to walk through the site, and for your stewardship
Thank you.
You know, it's a large property to manage, but I appreciate you hearing us
Thank you.
on it. Any questions or comments from the public? Anybody online? No? Motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. Order of conditions?
So we would have a discretionary allowance from performance standard 4.2.4 for activity in the 15-foot buffer zone. We'd have condition number 24 for wetland flagging. We'd have a condition that restoration plantings be installed as soon as possible following the tree removal within a seasonally appropriate planting window, and that a wetland scientist be present on site to oversee the planting process. We have condition number 46 for wood removal. We have a condition that the restoration plantings be evaluated by a wetland scientist during the growing season. The year following the planting, any dead or dying plantings should be replaced in kind. A report prepared by the wetland scientist should be provided to the Office of the Commission documenting the findings of their visit. Condition 68 for wetland permitting with ongoing condition 68.
Any questions?
Should be fine. Thank you.
Commissioners, any questions or follow-up?
Motion to issue the order of conditions as described.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Take care.
Next item, number 5, 134 Gold Street and 5 Sargent Street, notice of intent.
Good evening. Paul Knappich with BSC Group, representing the project. Here with me is Leah Bradley with Central Mass Housing. We opened the hearing at the last meeting. The DEP file number had not yet been issued by the DEP. They have since issued that number with no comment. There were questions at the hearing that I wasn't able to answer at the time, and I provided a written response to those questions the week following the hearing. I believe any concerns may have been addressed, but if there are any further, I'd be happy to answer.
Any further questions or?
Yeah, so the two questions we had during the last hearing really related to the kind of openness of that pavilion that's shown on the left side of the screen in the parking lot. The renderings that were provided showed a gap at the base of the siding on those to allow the passage of floodwaters. It's also, I think it was fully open on one side and still had gaps even on the other sides that were enclosed. So no concerns about restriction of floodwaters there. And then the other question pertained to the dumpster storage area and how just they would, the design would ensure that the dumpster would be secure in the event of a flood. Information was also provided to show how that would be contained. So like it was mentioned, we were just really waiting on a DEP file number at this point. We did take a closer look and didn't have any further comments on our end, so staff's all set with this at this point.
Okay. Question or comments from the commissioners? It's going to be a quick night tonight. Anybody here from the public on this project? Anybody online? Is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. Proposed order of conditions?
So in addition to the standard conditions, we would have 37 for stormwater management system maintenance, 49 for dewatering, 50 for cement truck washing, 56 for spill prevention, 62 for a compensatory storage area, that an as-built plan be submitted with the certificate of compliance request. Ongoing condition number 62 and 37.
Any questions?
Motion to issue the order of conditions as described.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, new business notice of intent, 30 Quinsigamon Avenue.
Kim, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I apologize to the commission. My name is Kimberly DeGutis. I'm a professional wetland scientist with WSP. I am losing my voice, so if you bear me a little bit of grace. This is a notice of intent on behalf of Eversource Energy. I have with us Michael Ladney. If it's possible to unmute his microphone, he can provide an explanation of the project, since my my voice is starting to go. Sorry.
No, I'm
I'm
unmuted.
so sorry.
Good evening. Again, my name is Michael Ladney, environmental consultant with WSP, here on behalf of Eversource Energy. I reside in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. The scope of work entailed here is you outlined in this red box on the southeast side of the property along Quinsigamon Avenue. The work entails removal of superficial trash, debris, stumps, things of that nature that you could see in the picture here, as well as some minor regrading to soften the slope that grades to the edge of the sidewalk into Quinsigamon Avenue. The regrading will help soften and with runoff of anything running onto the sidewalk. We will be putting fabric down after the regrading is done, as well as 1.5 inch stone tampered down to finish off the site, and also to replace the broken fence. As you can see, the security fence along the sidewalk there, it has previously been ran into by a car and needs to get repaired for security purposes. And that's
So just so the commission knows, we had filed, we had uploaded our application to EDEP on September 29th and have yet to hear anything back from them, which is why the file number wasn't issued. And I reached out to them by email today for Central Region, still have not received a response, unfortunately.
Okay, but you understand then we won't be closing the hearing on this?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Staff comments about the project?
Yeah, so this is in front of the commission because the project is within bordering land subject to flooding associated with the 100-year floodplain in the Green Island area. Based on the preliminary FIS, the base flood elevation for this site is 450.4, putting kind of pretty much the entire thing in the floodplain. Staff doesn't have any concerns about the proposed work meeting the performance standards. It's a net decrease in material here, so an increase in flood storage capacity. Pretty straightforward project overall.
Questions or comments from the commissioners? I have like maybe two. I guess the first one is why now? Because this site has been like this for a while. Is there future plans or just finally decided to clean it up?
No future plans that I'm aware of. It is just mainly because the fence is in disarray and the site security is compromised. So in order to do that, they wanted to kind of clean up that area, regrade the slope for further things rolling down into the fence or causing an issue with the fence. That was the premier driver of this.
And the primary use of this lot at this point?
It is just an area work center for the Eversource employees. They keep the materials there. They leave their trucks and trailers there, some containers there. And we also have an active remediation system going on there as well. So it's just going to be left open for what I'm aware of.
Okay. Anyone here from the public with comments or questions about the project? Online? So is there a motion to postpone?
Yes, we'd be looking for a motion to continue the hearing to our next meeting on November 3rd.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Fatoni? Aye. I guess we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Great,
Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
You too. Next up, number 12, 485 Grove Street, notice of intent.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ron Mendez. I'm with Graves Engineering here on behalf of Colony Retirement Homes. So basically what Colony Retirement Homes would like to do is that they would like to redevelop their existing property at 485 Grove Street. Currently, there's about 13 residential buildings dedicated for senior housing. Over the course of 4 phases, they would like to construct 4 buildings. Ultimately, these buildings will be one big interconnected building, but again, they're doing so in phases. As part of phase 2, they would like to remove a couple buildings, construct a 4-story building that would have approximately 48 dwelling units, construct also some paved parking areas, walkways, driveways, and propose some stormwater management features. In this case, it's a bioretention area. Some of the work would go in conjunction actually with part of phase 1, and I should probably also note that the intent at this point is that they would like to construct phases 1 and 2 together, since the funding came through. In that case, initially it was only separate timelines, but again, now they have in mind doing both phases together. But I mentioned that also because some of the stormwater from phase 2 is actually directed towards an underground chamber system that was designed for phase 1. When phase 1 was designed, we did design the system with phase 2 in mind. So I guess some of the comments that we received as part of the review process is that the rainfall values that we use were based on the Northeast regional rainfall values instead of the NOAA. At the time, I guess, when we designed the system, we were using our NRCC and weren't aware that the NOAA values were the ones that were preferred, I guess. I guess when the word came out, the design was already done and so on. So I guess that was just, I figured I should mention that. Nevertheless, though, as part of the project, we are impacting about 80,000 square feet. We have no wetlands on the property, and really at this point, the trigger is because of the amount of work that we're doing just for phase 2, and also that Grove Street is in front of the property, so we are within 100 feet of stormwater components or municipal stormwater components. I guess anything else that may come to mind is that we did also apply for planning board approval. We did receive that earlier this month on October 1st. Phase 1 was permitted or presented before the commission in May of 2024. And I think that might be it for the gist of the projects. I'd like to take this opportunity to answer any questions, if I may, please.
Okay. Staff comments on the project?
Yeah, we don't have too much. Regarding the precipitation totals, we don't have an issue with what's been used for phase 1 and 2. We understand that the higher, newer totals will be used for the future phases of the project. And we're fine with that. We had a few comments which were relatively minor related to the phasing. One of the comments we had was regarding the bioretention area and just the plantings that would be installed there. I did take a look at the architectural plan set that had the planting list. So I think one of the things that we'd be looking for would just be the inclusion of shrubs in the bioretention area itself. It looks like that was proposed as just kind of like a wet mix. So that's something that we'd probably want to condition as far as plan revisions go, but don't really have too much to comment on other than that. If the phases are going to be constructed concurrently, just a little worried about the amount of open ground that there will be at a single time. I know the site's relatively flat, which alleviates some of that concern, but just I think there'll need to be a focus paid to tracking material out of the site and making sure that construction entrances are maintained throughout the project. But that's it from staff.
I'm a little confused. So are the buildings, are you renovating the existing buildings or you're building new buildings?
We're building new buildings. So for instance, in phase one, I believe we'll be taking about 3 buildings down. Phase two, also about 3 buildings. So it'd be just new buildings. The existing ones are about like 2 stories. And the overall amount of units that Colony would like to construct is just more units to have more housing, I guess, ultimately. But yes, it's really just to take down some buildings in the process, put up the new one, and then go on and so forth.
Do you know about the difference in impervious area from as it was originally to what it will be when all the new construction is done?
Off the top of my head, I do not know the answer what will be when all 4 phases are completed. At this point, I only know the difference from the existing conditions to phase 2. The difference being about 23,000 square feet at this point.
Of more impervious?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, I would have to look into that because honestly, phases 3 and 4 have not been fully designed at this point. So
Gotcha.
Any comments or questions from the public? Anyone here on this project? Anyone online? No? All right. Is there a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close.
Commissioner Kirschner? Are you there?
Stuart, we can see you're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Stuart, can you hear us? Stuart? We can see you're unmuted, but we're not able to hear you. Let me try and shoot him a text. We will need his vote on this since we only have 3 members present tonight. Stuart, can you hear us? Let me try giving him a call quickly. Wasn't able to get a hold of him just now. I'd suggest we take a 5-minute recess to get him back online. We'll need him before we continue this meeting.
it is what it is.
Somebody say something?
No, I was me.
Like that
It
was
is
just
what it
Ron.
is. My bad. Sorry.
So we'll try to resume at 6:14.
Do I need to a vote on the break?
No, I think we can just, we'll just pause here.
It's a 5-minute break, then we try to recover the 3rd commissioner. Otherwise, we can't have a vote.
Understood.
Stuart, can you hear us? Stuart, can you hear us? Can see you're unmuted, but are not able to hear you. Stuart, not sure if you can hear us, but we're not able to hear you. I'm not sure if you're able to dial in or give me a call to discuss this, but we're not going to be able to continue the meeting until you're back on here. Can you hear us now, Stuart? If you're dialed in, it's *9 to, or *6 to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now. Thank you.
Were we
Sorry for the technical difficulties.
in the middle of closing the hearing, or were we?
My answer was aye.
So we're-
On closing the hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner, so you voted, I think you
We
were
had
seconded.
that was a second, yeah. We had a
So
motion on the
You just
floor.
seconded.
I second it. Exactly.
Excellent. Okay. Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni? Aye. Proposed order of conditions?
And just for the record, we resumed at 6:16. So in addition to the standard conditions, we have condition number 31 for SWIP, 37 for stormwater management system maintenance, condition for revised plans depicting shrubs in the bioretention area. Condition number 40 for retention basin vegetation, 39 for certification of stormwater infrastructure, 49 for dewatering, 50 for cement truck washing, 55 for construction monitoring reports, 56 for spill prevention, 64 for as-built site plan at the end of the project, 66 for sand and salt, and ongoing conditions 37 and 66. And those conditions are pretty much in line with the conditions for the first phase of the project as well.
Any questions? Questions or comments from the commissioners?
Motion to issue the order of conditions?
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni? Aye. All set.
Thank you kindly for your time.
Thank you. Next item, number 13, 342 Lake Ave, notice of intent.
Good evening, Commission members. I'm Rich Kirby from LEC Environmental, and we had prepared a notice of intent application for the construction of a two-family dwelling at 342 Lake Ave. And this is the site plan that has since been revised from the submittal, the notice of intent submittal. So you can see here, this is a view of the site. Plan view top is to the west, and Lake Quinsigamon would be off-site to the bottom of the plan. So this is a vacant lot, largely comprised of lawn. It's in the buffer zone to an intermittent stream that flows along the southern property boundary. You can see it labeled as brook there. We delineated the bank or BVW to the stream. It's contained within a pretty steep channel, steep embankments with a fringe of intermittent bordering vegetated wetland along the edge. So the 15-foot no disturbance zone and 30-foot no structure zone extend from that delineation. And you can see the proposed two-family structure there. It occurs along the 30-foot no disturbance zone. Driveways to the garages, which are labeled on the plan there, those are going to connect to an existing driveway that's off-site to the north at 340 Lake Avenue. And that shared driveway will provide access to the proposed garages that are there. Toward the bottom of the plan, between the structure and Lake Avenue, you can see a gray shaded polygon there. That's going to be it has several functions. During construction, it'll be a stabilized construction entrance and stockpile area. The dumpster will probably go there. And post-construction, it'll function as a parking lot. One of the units will have an accessory dwelling unit on the first floor. So that provides some parking for that accessory dwelling unit. What's not included on this plan, which will be coming in be provided on a forthcoming plan, are several street trees that are proposed along Lake Avenue. If you can imagine, we'd have one street tree on the right side of the construction access off Lake Ave, and then 3 more off to the left side along Lake Avenue. We're also going to show the pervious paver walkways, which will extend from the new driveway sections along that northern or right property line to the front entrances of the dwellings. And I believe that is all of the plan changes that will be forthcoming. We know we're going to be continuing tonight, but we wanted to present the project to you to make sure that you had a good understanding of what it was we were proposing, and to see if you, the commission members, had any comments as we move forward to revise the plans and finalize them for the next hearing. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Okay, thank you. Staff comments at this point?
Yeah, we just had a few comments that have been partially addressed with the first set of plan revisions. I think Mr. Kirby just did a good job outlining the remaining things that we're looking to see on revised plans. This lot is currently mostly existing lawn at this point. I don't believe there's any tree clearing proposed as part of the site work.
You know, the plan does not have the tree line on it. The grading in the back may get into some woody vegetation that's back there, but it's transitional. It's not as though all of a sudden we have a mature forest at the lawn edge. It's sort of overgrown vegetation that I think has been left alone and allowed to go fallow for a while. But certainly the vegetation that's along the brook, that'll all remain.
Yeah, don't really have too much to add other than that. Just, I guess, for the commission's knowledge and understanding, the brook enters a culvert that discharges to Lake Quinsigamond, and the catch basins in the street also discharge to Lake Quinsigamond. So we'll just want to make sure that erosion controls are in good shape during construction, but as shown on the plan, that's typically what we'd be looking for, so.
Any comments, questions from commissioners?
I'm having trouble seeing where the 15, 30-foot lines are.
Sure. So if you draw your attention to the brook, you can see those ovals that say WF, BVW, 9, 10, 11. To the left of those, on the survey plan, there are marks right along. That's the boundary of the delineation. The thick line there that you see, that's the 15-foot no disturbance zone, and our erosion controls are just on the upland side of that. And then the 30-foot no structure zone is the second line, about equidistant away from the erosion control boundary, and you can see that the corners of the building just, are just outside that 30-foot.
Okay, thank you.
So it's going to be a tight site to maneuver between the construction and the brook side.
Yes, fortunately, it's a pretty flat site, and the grades aren't changing all that much. Obviously, we have a little bit of a cut toward the rear of the property. But yes, you'll have about 15 feet of maneuvering for, after the foundation's installed for the lifts and whatnot to put up the siding and the houses and the windows and things.
And so in terms of material laydown areas, any kind of stockpile areas, where
Yep.
are they?
Those are all in the front there, within the temporary construction access. You might have a dumpster off to the right within that lawn area. Usually they set up in the front to limit the tracking and vehicular access around the building.
These are, I assume, stick-built.
Yes.
So a motion to continue?
Yeah, we should check for public comment
Oh,
first.
sorry, yep.
Not that there has been
This
much of that
Nobody's
tonight.
been here. Is there anyone here from the public on this project? Anyone online? Questions or comments? No? Okay. Motion to continue?
Motion to continue to November 3rd?
You got it.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Fertoni? Aye. So we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, great. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Let's see, where are we? Next item, new business, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, 18 Kiara Drive.
Doug, I just made you a co-host, so you should be able to unmute yourself now.
How are we doing, everybody? Dylan from Goddard Consulting here, representing the applicant, Kleb LLC, for these collection of lots at the end of Kiara Drive. I submitted an ANRAD for these, I think it must have been September now, and we've been waiting for the DEP file number, but during that, Eric and I have been having a pretty productive back and forth, and we've since amended the initial filing. We've added a couple of 3 points there at the end of was it A9 and 10, so that's 9A, B, and C, just to kind of capture. There were some elms, which are a wetland leaning species, so just kind of bumped the line up there. There was another area I submitted some additional test points on around 28 and 9, and that came back as not being wetland. It's kind of a tricky area. It's like the whole slope here is somewhat degraded. There's like railroad ties, and the vegetation is a mixture of invasives and kind of like weedy species, like a lot of Virginia creeper and stuff like that. But yeah, That's kind of the long and short of it. If there's any other questions, happy to answer, happy to discuss.
I've been out to the site a couple times, met with Doug after our first site visit just to take a look at a couple areas that we had questions about. As Doug mentioned, one of those, they adjusted the flags on based on the vegetation and soils that were present there, and the other area, there was no adjustment to the flags, but we're satisfied with the documentation that's been provided for those two areas at this point, so no further comments from staff at this point.
Any questions or comments from commissioners? Anyone from the public? Online? I don't think I've had an ANRAD in a while. Just
So we
close
would-
the hearing?
We would follow the same format as the order of conditions, so vote to close the public hearing, and then we can discuss the ORAD, and then vote to issue that.
Motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close.
Second.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye.
And for this ORAD, we don't have any very specific findings. It's just confirming the boundaries of BBW as shown on the plan.
Okay.
So we'd be looking for a motion to issue the ORAD as discussed.
Motion to issue the ANRAD, as discussed.
Second.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. All set. Doug?
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
On to other business, request for certificate of compliance.
So first we have 215 Lake Avenue. This is actually items 15A and B, which would probably make sense to take concurrently. The commission reviewed this property at our last meeting to close out the enforcement order. As I mentioned at that meeting, they had just submitted a certificate of compliance request, but not in time for that meeting agenda. So this is what we now have. Just to remind the commission, there was a 2017 order of conditions, which was for the construction of the house, and a 2021 order of conditions, which was for the installation of a dock. The dock has since been sold and removed, so the owners are not interested in maintaining a dock at this time. We have received an as-built plan. There was obviously a lengthy enforcement process associated with this project and the issues during construction. But as mentioned during the last meeting, when discussing the enforcement order, staff feels that the site issues have been resolved at this point. So no further concerns about the issuance of a COC from our end.
Any questions from the commissioners on it?
Motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
Second.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye. Next.
Next up, we have item 15C. This was for a utility project. I think we might have the applicant here, or applicant's representative here to answer any questions. This was just a project to replace some structures along a transmission line right-of-way. We received the COC request documentation. We received photos of the areas of work. Staff does not have any concerns at this point. We did not go out and do a site visit along the transmission line, but did review the documents that were submitted. And as I mentioned, the applicant's representative is here if the commission has any questions.
Commissioner questions?
Motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
Second.
Commissioner Kirchner? Commissioner Kirchner?
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni, aye.
And last, we have item 15D, 30 Winfield Street. This was an order of conditions that was issued in 2024 for the construction of a residential building, associated parking area, and lawn area. One of the discrepancies that staff noticed in the field and on the as-built plan was this corner of the site. I have somebody with their hand raised. Where there's gravel installed along the, around this transformer pad. that area was originally proposed to be seeded. I don't have huge concerns about that, but just wanted to note that deviation from the commission. I did just kind of dig with my hand a little bit in the gravel to see what was underneath that, and it was dirt. There wasn't like impervious surface under that, but just wanted to call that out. Aside from that, no issues, and don't have any concerns about the issuance of a COC. I see we have Aaron raising their hand. I'm not sure if you wanted to comment on this.
Yeah, we did hydroseed it, but the hydroseed didn't take. So SWAC decided to just gravel the whole area instead. So we took up the loam and put gravel down.
So the hydroseed didn't take because the soil conditions weren't?
There was no water there because there was no water plan. There's no outside water for the house. So there was no way to water it essentially. And it was too hot at the end of the summer.
And no consideration to some other type of ground cover that wouldn't require?
They wanted a zero maintenance where mulch would go fade.
I guess I like gravel a little better than mulch, but not much.
And it's because of where the switchgear transformer is, it's actually hard to get anything back there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Commissioners, any other comments or questions on this one?
I'm okay with what's existing.
Is that something we need to have, or like, is it on the as-built plan, or do we need to?
Yeah, it's on the as-built. There's no need to like vote to accept the changes or anything. It would just be voting to issue a COC if the commission's comfortable with it.
Motion to close, or no, motion to issue the certificate of compliance.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Frattoni? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, enforcement orders.
Yes, so I believe we have one person here tonight to talk about 40 June Street Terrace. So we had talked about this one a while back. This was a enforcement order that was issued for some tree cutting back in 2021. As I had previously mentioned, the homeowner had made contact with staff at the time and had attempted to come to a public hearing, but it seemed like communication fizzled out from our end. We reached out earlier this year to try and resolve this, apparently to an old email address. I brought it to the commission's attention a couple months ago, suggesting that we potentially just lift it, but the commission indicated a desire to at least speak with the property owner, so since then we've been able to get in touch, and the property owner agreed to come down tonight to talk about this.
Got it. I'm sorry, and your name?
Judy Solomon, Biendo. I basically sent a letter describing, the whole rundown with the city of what happened. I mean, I don't really have much to add to the letter, other than that those long beetle bugs, longhorn bugs were in the city in 18, I think it was. And they were around those grounds, and there was guys with vests going around, and a lot of those trees got infected. And basically, they were dying, falling. Some fell on their own. Some, I still have one today, which I do have a picture of. It's dead, but it fell into my neighbor's yard, but the tree is actually holding it up. So it's gonna go. But right now, I didn't touch any more trees, but during all this time, it was between COVID, I lost, my husband died that year, my mother, it just went on and on. I mean, it was like 4. And, I did try my best to talk to the city. I did respond, but I believe she doesn't work for the city anymore. So I did talk to her physically on emails and on the phone, and I had just said to her, well, did you talk to your boss? I mean, we were trying to get a solution because before my husband died, he talked to some city guy in a truck because he says if he could get them out of there, as sick as he was, with somebody, to just try to work with things, he would. But then the other guy said you can't take any trees or give them to people to burn because of the bugs. They weren't to be removed out of the city of Worcester. So if somebody wanted to come in from Leicester, Spencer, and it all got lost. And then I got the letter the 27th, and I, emailed back a letter. It's like, why are you waiting 5 years to come back to me when I tried to resolve this in the hardest times of my life? But basically, that's, I don't know really what else to say about it. It just, city, it's those bugs. I actually put one in a bottle. I said if I could find the picture, I would get it. But, there was a lot of, and there's still trees that are beyond my scope of over there that are down. You can walk the lands and you're gonna see a lot of trees that are down.
So what was the original, was it an abutter or a commissioner or somebody noticed the work? How did it all?
I assume it was some complaint that got fielded by our office, and then an enforcement order was issued for the tree cutting. It's not clear from our records what exactly initiated it, but I would assume that it was a complaint.
Okay.
It's a fairly visible area if you're, if it's, I don't know what time of year it happened, but if you're like walking there's a conservation trail on city conservation land just on the other side of the river there. So if anyone was walking, it could have been visible from that end, but it's not totally clear.
And how many trees were removed?
I have I have like a white fence because I don't even really go down to that area. I probably haven't seen that area in 4 years because I'm just blocked in, but it might have been, I think might have been 4, but there's a birch tree on the reverse side heading down now, and then the one that's to the left, I think if you could see, well, I have a picture of it on my phone. There's a shed on the left, and the tree is dead hanging in that as of today's date. But I just, the city guy had said to my husband, well, they're supposed to do something because this started in 18 or 17 when the bugs were back there.
So it's conservation land right behind the house?
Correct, yep.
City-owned or like a
City-owned.
grant? Okay. Were the trees on the city land?
Yeah, they're kind of just lying across the river or brook.
I don't know that it looks like that now, probably because it's been 5 years.
Yeah, I think you can
That's-
still, this is the most recent aerial on the right side of the screen.
Yep.
You can still see them laying there. But as you mentioned, there are more trees up. and
There
down
are
this
other
brook,
trees from other
Also down. It's
cross.
very, very steep on both sides of that.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
extremely
Yeah, you
steep.
can't really tell from the
Yeah.
photo.
There's a pretty big drop off, basically right just a bit beyond where the path goes, kind of parallel to that stream on the screen north side.
Okay. Had it been 5 years ago or whenever this initially occurred, which is before, I think, almost everybody in this room, right? The fix would have been,
Potentially replanting. I don't think we would have encouraged tree planting on a slope that steep, just given the
Yep.
issues. We've also had tree cutting where we've kind of just used it as an educational opportunity to inform people about wetlands regulations and the need to permit that kind of stuff and just leave it at that.
right, okay. All right, well, I am sorry for all of your difficulty. You would think it'd be a fairly simple matter to remove a dying or dead tree. And I think normally it is, and I think normally we're easier to work with than I think you experienced in terms of if it ever needed to happen again. And certainly you could just maybe make sure your neighbors also know that you can't just take trees down in a conservation area or near a conservation area or near a waterway without,
No, I mean,
permit.
and I've been a resident of Worcester for 56
Yeah.
years, all my life. I mean, I wouldn't do anything, you know, to upset anything, because even when I had added on to the house, I mean, we had it blue flagged and everything, so it's not like I didn't know, it's just the trees died.
right?
And they're still, I mean, like I said, they're dying all up of there.
Yep.
And if there are ever like trees that like look hazardous, you can just give us a call and we can typically issue just like an emergency certification to have them.
Yeah, because the one right now that's there, my neighbor's tree, like I said, it's just a tree, her tree caught it. But if anything happens to that tree, it will go down.
Yeah. Is that the one that looks like it's coming across from?
It's leaning to the left. I just don't know. I had a nice laying picture of it. It's just, it would kind of, right here. This would, I don't know if you want to, I don't want to get up, but, this,
Yeah, yep, you can.
yeah, just so you see what I'm talking about, that it's not like we went and cut trees down purposely, but
Oh,
this is
wow.
my shed, and this one's dead. It's already into her.
Yep.
This is still there right now, today.
Okay.
But I haven't touched anything.
Yep, and the base of the tree is on your property, or is the base of that tree on the conservation land?
So it's between the neighbors, I think, well, I think it's between the middle of my land, her land. Conservation kind of hits the bottom of the slope. But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice.
So-
It's been sitting there for 5 years, too. but-
Right, so I have a question about a dead tree. So this is my question to staff, because I'm not as familiar. So if it's dead and just still require contacting an emergency,
I think,
You can-
oh, yeah,
That's above
okay.
my shed.
Yeah,
But that tree's been there as long, but I didn't touch any more trees
yeah.
after the 5 years when we started to talk about it.
right, right.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess it would kind of depend on the situation. I hate to give kind of a blanket answer. I guess we would always encourage people to reach out to us first and then kind of assess.
Okay.
You know, if there's a dead standing tree in a regulated area, we would still typically require something for it because it is removal and does provide like wildlife habitat value, but at the same time, if there's this, you know, a standing dead tree that's threatening any sort of structure or fence or anything, we would just immediately issue an emergency certificate allowing it to be removed because, like, I mean, if it's dead, that's clearly the highest level of risk for it to fall, so.
Yep. So maybe just more a question of making sure that it's done in a way that doesn't involve bringing machinery into the wetlands or
Right.
doing anything
And-
that,
And typically on an emergency certification, we would say like, you know, no refueling right next to the river and stuff like that. But yeah, we would not,
And it's a beautiful river.
yeah.
I mean, when I first bought the house over 20 years ago, I mean, we loved watching the beavers and everything run through it, but it's just something that happened, I don't know, with those longhorn bugs or whatever they were.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Right, so our the request tonight is to lift the enforcement order?
Yeah, that's
And
Steph's
get this
suggestion.
off of her?
Yep.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I'm just clarifying that the request is to remove or lift the enforcement order tonight. That's what we're being asked to do. So,
This was staff's initiative, but yes, that is
Yes,
what
yes.
we're going for, just to close this out.
so we need a vote to,
Yep, we would need
Lift the
a motion
enforcement
to
order.
lift the enforcement order.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kirschner,
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom,
Aye.
Commissioner Fertoni, aye. You should not receive any further correspondence other than to say this is lifted,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Okay, I appreciate it, thank you.
All right, thank you for
Sorry.
sitting through all of this. Yep, please be careful.
Can I just ask a quick question? I have a
Sorry, could you just come to the mic so that the
Yeah.
online people can hear you?
Yeah, you're
And
still
just
on TV, so.
Briefly state your name.
My name is Carol Jaguar. I live at 621 Chandler Street in Worcester, and have a tree that's, should come down because it's interfering with all the wires, the cable wires, phone wires, and everything else. And the owner doesn't seem to want to know about it, but I noticed the other day, it's covered with spotted lanternflies.
Oh, jeez.
And I tried to call, I guess the city's not doing that, right? It's a state project now?
Yeah, I think it would be the Massachusetts Department of Agriculture you'd want to call. MDAR.
I'm sorry?
It's called MDAR, Department of Agricultural Resources. They'd be the ones that are
So
handling.
it's a state agency.
They want it to be reported, and, you know, they said, oh, no, you have to email the state.
The
or
state.
something.
Yeah.
You can
yeah.
also-
Is there a,
There is, I think at this point, they've already established that there's a infestation in Worcester, and I don't know that there's something on their website that says like, don't bother reporting it if we already have it listed as an
Already know.
infestation, so, I mean, I saw one on Front Street the other day, the spotted lanternfly, they're pretty much everywhere at this point.
yeah, okay, so it's,
But if, as far as doing something about the tree, you could also try reaching out to utility companies about it, because sometimes if there's a tree that's like threatening their infrastructure, they'll do something about it. No, they tend not to want to do much, but it's an option.
National Grid said that you really should get this down. It's gonna be a problem, but the owner of the property doesn't seem to wanna deal with it.
what is it, 621
Yes,
Chandler?
and the tree is at 623. Remember where Root and Press used to be?
Yeah.
On Chandler Street? I live right next door, and it's a new owner now, so
Okay,
I was just curious about that, but thank you for your help.
yep, thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Any other enforcement order updates?
Just quickly on 16Y, 9 and 13 Elton Street, so this was the one that had the, oops, I guess the pictures are gone. The riprap slope that was unpermitted at the back of the site. I did meet with the wetland scientist for the project and the developers at the site to look at this. They did pull the riprap out of the wetland and 15-foot buffer. They're going to be submitting a request for amended order of conditions to get approval for the slope and also outline the remaining remedial actions that are needed to kind of clear the debris out of that channelized area that's right at the outfall adjacent to the site. But the street is a lot cleaner and all the sediment is gone and the catch basins are clean at this point. So that's a step in the right direction. I think we'll probably see next meeting, we'll probably have the request for amended order of conditions and they'll have the remedial actions included in that.
So in the process of that, we would potentially remove the enforcement order, review and approve potentially the amended order of conditions.
Yeah, I think if there are actions that we still want to require be completed, we would want to keep the enforcement order open for those.
Okay.
I think we've kind of, what the feedback is normally, or the guidance from DEP rather, is normally that, you know, you should require things through an enforcement order that you're requiring and permit things to allow them to stay through the permitting pathway. So I think the kind of covering the slope would be the main objective of the amended order. And then if there's like, you know, specific remedial actions, we'd want to keep the enforcement order open and require those until those are complete.
Okay. All right. So no other enforcement order updates?
Nope,
Active projects,
nothing from staff.
open space,
Nothing from staff.
communications,
Nothing from staff.
the ordinance.
So
So did you reach out to anyone
we
about?
have, yes, ran it up the flagpole, so to speak. So basically, the recommendation from my division was just to initiate a redlined change to the ordinance text itself to address the items the commission wanted to see. So I obtained a Word doc version of that and started with some of the things we talked about, mainly the, you know, the removal of the exemptions, still trying to figure out how to word that. Or the acceptance of the exemptions under the Wetlands Protection Act. And then also like we had talked about upping our max extension to 3 years from 1 year to be in line with the Wetlands Protection Act. And also, I'm forgetting, there was one other item that we had talked about as well.
Stuart wanted to have massive fines.
Massive fines, yes. And unfortunately, that is one we
I know,
couldn't
we
do,
can't.
but that was a good thought. I think also lifting the cap on third-party review costs to the applicant was one thing that we had talked about, because right now that's capped at 2,500, and that was back however many years ago, and costs for third-party consultants have increased significantly since then, so taking a look at that as well. But I think the goal would be, so this isn't like a commission update, so we wouldn't necessarily need to do any sort of public hearing for it. I think what we would do as kind of city staff and administration would be prepare red line changes to that ordinance and then present it to the commission to get feedback. And then we could submit that to city council as a ordinance update. And then if there were subsequent regulation changes that the commission wanted to make, we could do that. But my thought for moving forward on this would just be to keep this item on the agenda so that we can check in on it at the next few meetings with the goal of having something to submit to council in the next 2 or 3 months for an update.
Okay.
Happy to take any feedback on that process.
Minutes.
We have minutes from September 29th.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Comment.
Commissioner Kirschner?
Aye.
Commissioner Nystrom?
Aye.
Commissioner Bertoni? Aye. Do we have a Maddie update before we?
Yes, so Maddie is on maternity leave. She had baby boy last Saturday, and she will be back sometime in January, hopefully.
Did she come into the office at all?
She has not, no,
She's
not yet.
Okay.
She sent us a picture in her group chat. It's very cute.
What's the name?
Richard William. I guess going by Ricky.
Ricky?
Yeah.
Cute. Okay. And anything under policies and procedures?
Nothing from staff.
Okay. And so our next meeting's in 2 weeks.
Yes, we
That's
have a
one
quick
coming up.
turnaround, and we will also be in Esther that time.
Right, because they've got training.
I'm not sure exactly why we had a 2-week break. I think there was probably something related to, I'm guessing it, I don't know. I think maybe they didn't want to schedule it for the Monday before Veterans Day. And if we, there was a reason at the time when we made the schedule 2 years ago, but yeah, 2-week turnaround this week.
Okay.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Night, Stuart.